The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
Welcome to Almost Here, Round the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Future technologies poised to transform our lives for better or worse are the focus of this podcast. Almost here means these technologies are now here and starting to be used, or just around the corner, from Bitcoin to artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.
Hello and welcome everyone to the Future Tech Podcast. My name is Josh Thomas. I'm here with Daryl Snyder of Cryptosumermining.com. They provide access to GPU and ASICs machines and co-location services. Hello, Daryl. How are you?
I'm awesome, Josh. How are you?
Fantastic. If I was any better, I'd be twins. Hey, if right into it here, yeah, it's a delayed reaction, right? It kind of grows on you. So, Cryptosumer Mining. Talk to us a little bit about, what got you involved into this space.
I was actually doing some consulting. I started a newsletter, and through the newsletter, I had some interest in some people helping to start mining, and the more I investigated, the more I liked, and things started to happen that allowed me to create a company.
Okay, great. And so, are you're a miner yourself then?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Personally, just within the last year or so, I was 2013 approached by someone, a friend that I'd known since 2001, and he was all excited about the possibilities, and I listened, but back then he said I told him that it looked like monopoly money, and I didn't take it seriously. And today, he's one of the most successful that I know of here in the United States. And the more I was intrigued on how I missed out on that opportunity, the more passionate I became in making sure I captured what was available in the moment.
Okay, and so talk to us a little bit about the technology here. You say that you provide access to GPU and ASICs machines. What does that mean exactly? How do we interact with your product or your service?
Sure. And I don't know what you know personally, Josh, but there's really three main things if you're going to compete in the mining space and offer great product and service. And it's having access to the software. There's just a couple of companies that create what I believe to be some of the most powerful chips in the world. And so it's having access to those companies and having the ability to, once you access the chips, the ability to build the machines in the case of the GPU, and having experience and being able to scale up. And then it's having the data centers or the co-location centers. And that's an area that a building or facility that has access to electricity at the lower costs, and then the ability to cool the machines. They run hot, so the ability to cool them and pump the heat out, and again have scalability. A lot of people get into it for personal mining, and they maybe bought something off Amazon or Alibaba, or they did some research on the internet and they build a machine or two. But to scale and to offer possibilities of personally having the largest crypto mining operation in the world, you have to, number one, have capital. It takes a lot of capital. Number two, have the ability to get the software, the chips, and there are a lot of different chips without getting really technical, but different chips that perform at different levels. People listening that are familiar, hashing power, and the more hashing power that you get in the card. Our particular machines have 9 cards, so they're 9-way machines in the GPU, and the particular chips in the cards that we have access to have a 40 hash, so it's 360 hash, and the more hash, the more power, the more the ability for that machine to mine. In our GPU, currently we're focusing on Ethereum, but with GPU, you have a little bit more versatility. You can mine Ethereum, Ethereum Classic, Monero, Siacoin, and gives you, a lot of people in the mining world believe Ethereum will become unmineable at some point. So with that GPU machine, you're not limited to just one coin. As in ASICs, a lot of people that are familiar with the ASICs world, that's Bitcoin. There are AMP miners that mine Bitcoin, but there's also Litecoin miners and Dash miners. And with the Bitcoin miner, the S9 that a lot of people are familiar with, it'll mine Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash, but outside that, you're pretty limited. So the same thing with the ASICs machine. It's the ability to have access to the machines in quantity. That starts with money and creating relationships, but it's not just getting the machines, it's getting or having co-location facilities. And hadn't been much going on in the U.S. now with what's happened in China recently.
And so let me just kind of break in here for a moment and ask you. So do you sell the machines, or do you provide storage for the machines, or both, or what is it that Cryptosumer Mining actually does?
Yeah, both. We provide when available. Been more of a demand thing than access, but when they're available, we build GPU machines and we sell the machines, and you can house them in your home or in your own facilities, or we offer co-location services where for a percentage of the mining, 25% of the mining, we keep to cover the electricity and the cooling and the security and the warranty. We extend out the factory warranty, or we offer, you can buy machines and we'll ship them to your location and you keep all of the mining.
Okay, so you're something of an e-commerce platform that sells these machines, but you can also host and house them as well.
Correct.
Okay, got it. And so, what have you seen over the last 12 months, for instance, in the mining world? Has demand for these machines increased? Is it outpacing supply? Talk to us about the current environment for mining.
Yeah. Quite a bit. I mean, it's like the world's waking up, right? Over the last 12 months, if you look at the price increases in Bitcoin and Litecoin and Ethereum and the emergence of Bitcoin Cash, it's like, I'll be careful here and put a little asterisk. We build machines, we manufacture some, we supply from other manufacturers, and we offer co-location services. And some people will talk about an ROI. What's the return on an investment in the machine? And with the increase in value of certain coins, I think people are discovering that it may be to certain people more advantageous to take X amount of money, say $10,000, and invest in mining machines one time and reap the potential rewards of that $10,000, accumulating $10,000 worth of a certain coin, and then continue to mine another $10,000 worth of a coin instead of taking $10,000 and buying a certain coin. So I think as awareness, people hearing stories on how someone started mining, like my friend, years ago, and some of the successes they have had, more people are aware. And, I think the conference is bringing a lot of awareness, right, to what's going on in the world. So I saw every day, more and more people from around the world are approaching us from different parts of the world looking for ways to invest their money into machines for the possibilities of what it will create for them.
That's right. And so what kind of advancements have you seen in the technology since you've been involved in this?
Oh, it's crazy. More and more powerful, I don't want to get real technical, but cards themselves, the hashing power and the speed and the reliance on electricity. And we currently internally are working on our own chips, that we believe when we launch them will be faster and require less electricity. But I've had conversations with the ability to amplify electricity, certain wattage. I don't know if you know personally, but it takes a certain amount of megawatts. It's not just finding a building that's open that maybe is 6 cents a kilowatt hour. It's the ability to pump in the amount of electricity. So I'm listening to and looking at the possibilities of electricity becoming less and less dependent. So I see tremendous strides there. the power of the machines, the chips in the ASICs world. I mean, just over the weekend I was on with people that have developed their own. So it's happening at the speed of thought, and it will continue to happen. You know, mining, in my personal opinion, is going to be something for the next 2 to 3 years that's going to be incredible for the people that take advantage of that. But I believe the mining, the computer power that's driving the mining will shift into AI and machine learning, and we'll have a lot of usage beyond just mining, which is the buzz right now. Technology is crazy. I mean, every single day, without exaggeration, I hear about something and explore it, and it's amazing.
Yeah, excellent. And so what would you say as you're building this company, what were some of the major challenges that you've faced as far as, you know, locating the proper facilities and electricity and cooling? You know, what have you run into any roadblocks with that, or was it all smooth sailing?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you start talking about numbers, I mean, personally, we're looking at, you know, quotes for hundreds of thousands of machines. I mean, literally the opportunity, just what we have in front of us, 600,000 machines, which on a 9-way machine, that's 5.4 million chips. You start talking to some of the major chip providers, they've not seen numbers. Most of the chips are from gaming, right? And 85% of these chips have went towards gaming and 15% mining. So it's the ability for the manufacturer to scale to that level, and then you start talking about power supplies. If you're talking about 20 to 30,000 power supplies in a single month, it starts to be beyond what most are used to. Then you start talking about the data centers and the megawattage and what's happened in China, you know, with the regulations and one of the larger mining operations, and full force looking at places like Canada with the hydropower, and some places here in the U.S. and other places around the world. So if you want to go out again, and your vision is, as our vision is, to be the largest in the world, takes money, and the money seems to find opportunity. So once you have the money, it's finding the ability for these chip makers, and there's only a couple that really in the GPU world, and it's even as limited, if not more, in the ASIC. So it's not just money, it's resources and getting out ahead of the demand. And, you know, there's only so many buildings in the world that I think are suitable currently, that you don't have to build from the ground up, that have the space, have the electricity at a reasonable price, but then have the megawatt that are able to be pumped in. And it's, I mean, everywhere you go, there's limitations. It's just working with what you have and being able to always keep your eye out for more. I mean, right now we're in conversations daily and how we can, you know, find the chips and the memory. It's not just the chips, but you get into memory. There's only a couple of manufacturers of memory, and a lot of this stuff has been designated for computers. And then software. There's only a certain level of software that I feel competent enough to be able to run the machines to the way. So, you know, our vision has been to get out in front of the availability of the software and the data centers, and you know, look at technologies that are coming and see how real those are and what's the timeline for deployment. Some of that.
Okay, very good. And so, who should you've got a website, cryptosumermining.com, and that's crypto, SUMER, like consumer, cryptosumermining.com. And so who should visit this website, and, you know, who would be your ideal customer?
We started out just, you know, the ones or twos, I mean, making it available, but I mean, it's been more recently. We didn't have a presence in Miami for the conference that just went on. We weren't there because we were so busy, but people found us. It's from somebody looking maybe to get an Antminer or a GPU machine when available, to, you know, someone that has a vision to build out, I mean, from 100 machines to some of the larger quotes are in the hundreds of thousands of machines. So it just depends on someone's strategy and what they're looking to do.
Okay, very good. Once again, this is Daryl Snyder from Cryptosumermining.com. Thanks very much for joining us. Any final thoughts for our audience before we wrap?
No, just excited to be down at the event. You know, what's happened. I know you guys sold out and you opened up the the live simulcast at the other hotel. Some of my friends that I told, and they waited thinking there'd be tickets, and then there weren't any tickets, and now you've opened up. So much excitement, that just is a testament, Josh, to what's happening in the space. Excited to get down there. We'll have a mining machine at the booth, and looking forward to connecting with a lot of people. And just, I don't think we'll ever experience anything in our lifetime what's happening now. So appreciate you and Richard and Lucian for what's going on, and looking forward to meeting you and a lot of people in person down there.
Very good. Well, thanks very much. And that'll do it for this episode of the Future Tech Podcast. We'll see you next time.
The Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference is coming to Dallas, Texas, February 16, 17, and 18 in 2018. If you know of a better way to get the latest insider knowledge about crypto, to hear directly from the top minds in this field, to interact personally with 800 fellow crypto lovers, hodlers, investors, miners, traders, developers, and founders, then I'd like to hear about it. If you don't, then you don't want to miss out. Register today for the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Blockchain Super Conference. Go to bitcoinsuperconference.com and register today as a super early bird to get the lowest rates on tickets and hotel rooms. That's bitcoinsuperconference.com.
You have been listening to Almost Here, Around the Corner Future Technology podcast with Richard Jacobs. Subscribe to this podcast, post a review to discover more future technologies that are poised to transform our lives for better or worse, such as Bitcoin, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, blockchain, virtual reality, and more.